And it was not immediately clear who was responsible for the attack, but Al-Shabaab, which wants to overthrow the government and impose its interpretation of Islamic law, frequently carries out such bombing. So it may not be news as to why they are alleging it to have carried on this attack. More of this report.
A suicide car bomb killed at least 7 people in the Somali capital on Saturday at a street junction near the president's residence. An official said a suicide car bomb that exploded at Silagab Junction killed 7 people and injured 8 others. Muaiya Mudi, District Commissioner of Mogadishu's Hamar Rajab district, told the Reuters it was not immediately clear who was responsible for the attack, but Al-Shabaab wants to overthrow the government and impose its interpretation of the Islamic law, frequently carries out such bombings. A Reuters witness at the scene of the blast reported seeing 7 cars and 3 rickshaws destroyed by the blast, and the whole...
All right, now, a Reuters witness at the scene of the blast reported seeing 7 cars and 3 rickshaws destroyed by the blast, and the whole junction covered in blood. Now let's head to China and Kenya's Kenyan report, where China puts final nail on coffin for Lamu Coal project in Kenya. While appearing at the United Nations General Assembly Summit earlier this week, the Chinese President Xi Jinping said China would stop building coal power plants overseas. More of this report.
Plans to revive talks surrounding the setup of the coal power plant in Lamu are virtually over after China's flip. While appearing at the United Nations General Assembly Summit earlier this week, Chinese President Xi Jinping said China would stop building coal power plants overseas. The pledge has technically scouted the plans of a coal power plant in Kenya, whose potential funding was seen emerging from China after prospective financiers pulled out of the now damned project. In flipping its support for coal power plants, which are regarded as dirty sources of energy, China has essence stopped blowing hot and cold on the global push for sustainability and climate change mitigation. Its pledge has been followed by the applause from the climate smart cheerleaders and activists who have termed the move as a death to the coal.
All right, and wow. If you see, when we head into situations of business stories and the week ahead, I don't know whether you are excited as I am as we are actually into this week. We have just kick-started off the week in pretty much energy, and the energy that definitely each one of you would have to start it off. Last week, graduation ceremonies did take place. Chambogo University, Uganda Technology and Management Universities also had graduations. I think we have fresh new entrants in the job and the job market. In the employment market, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Jobs are quite difficult to get in the economy lately. And I would definitely say, welcome on board to Smart Main's Business. If this is your first day to join in, this is how we do it. It is definitely vibes on vibes, stories and stories in relation to business. As we're driving your business, as I definitely be taking my coffee or tea as well, is definitely the way for each one of you to go in regards to that particular one. And of course, as we are running business stories, we have a lot for you, just so you know, in that particular angle of the business. Wherever you're catching up the show from, I would definitely agree and say, man, thanks for joining, and thanks for the love, thanks for the feedback we're getting as well. But do remember, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Smart24TV as well, and you can get us on www.smart24tv on our official website. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko on Twitter, Jerome Paul Sonko on Facebook, Jerome Paul Sonko on Instagram. Now, climate change. Climate change is actually something that is that we should take as part of a human entity. And it includes both global warming driven by human-induced emissions of greenhouse gases and the resulting large-scale shifts in weather patterns. Though there have been previous periods of climatic change since the mid-20th century, humans have had unprecedented impact on the Earth's climate system and caused change on a global scale. Now, the largest driver of warming is the emission of gases that creates a greenhouse effect, of which more than 90% are carbon dioxide and methane fossil fuel burning. Let's take a look at the African Continental Free Trade Area. Now, trading under the African Continental Free Trade Area AfCFTA began earlier this year with massive potential to boost inclusive economic growth and reduce inequality and poverty in Africa. Indeed, the World Bank predicts that 30 million Africans could be lifted out of extreme poverty, while incomes could rise by 450 million US dollars by 2035. Exports could increase by 560 billion US dollars, while wages may increase by 10.3% and 9.8% for unskilled and skilled labor, respectively. The new complex challenges, for example, COVID-19 and climate change, have exposed the vulnerability of social and economic systems across the world. But why? Now, due to climate change outcomes, many companies and those in the future are greatly being affected in many different ways. Yet many do not know what they can do to help fight it. Now let's have a look at this. Here are 10 actions that all companies can put in place to do their part in the fight against global warming. Global warming has actually been a very huge scare for each one of us since childhood, since studies, and since time immemorial. And if you're to visit the academia and the students out there, those are some of the things or some of the issues in a holistic approach, where most of the teachers will tell you global warming. You should take keen notice of that. Now, point number one that we should need to take clearly as companies as well as individuals, as human beings, to protect the climate and the environment is measure and analyze greenhouse gas emissions. Number two, reducing energy consumption. In what way? Turning off the lights in the office in the evening, slightly lowering the heating or the air conditioning, or taking devices of the plugs when it's not needed are some good actions companies can implement. You see, even most of you take this in charge when you're going to sleep. Later on in the night, you switch off the television, you switch off the lights in the sitting room or the living room, you switch off the lights in the dining room, switch off the lights everywhere, and you're only left with the security lights that are keeping out the burglars maybe, or the thieves that happen in the night and things like that. So this has actually been one of the good actions companies can implement, as well as individuals at home. Moreover, by paying more attention to other daily routine actions, businesses can slightly reduce their energy consumption and thus the impact on the climate. So we're looking at ways of we can protect the climate change, more so on global warming. That number two was reducing energy consumption. Number three is give renewable energies a go. And today more and more individuals are choosing renewable energy, and this is also an interesting solution for companies, as suppliers such as eWater or Anacop represent an interesting solution for using only 100% renewable energy. Simply put, avoiding fossil fuels significantly reduces the climate footprint. And number four is reducing waste and fighting obsolescence. Number five, optimizing employees' transportation. As we know, transportation is one of the largest sectors of greenhouse gas emissions. By encouraging employees to take public transit, to carpool with other colleagues living closely, or by giving them discounts on public transportation or companies. If you will excuse me. Now, we head to number six. Choose greener infrastructures and equipment. Number seven, choose sustainable suppliers. Number eight, raise awareness among employees, clients, and other stakeholders as well. And number nine, promote environmentally friendly ways of working. Then number 10 is mobilizing for the climate change. And according to the survey, here are the top 5 ways that climate change is already impacting or threatening to impact companies across the globe. Number 1, operational impact. Now, nearly 3 in 10 organizations are noticing the operational impacts of climate-related disasters such as facilities damage and workforce disruption. And number 2, scarcity or cost of resources. Resources like food, water, and energy are at risk due to both environmental and human resource causes, with the energy and consumer industries reporting the greatest impact. Number 3, regulatory or political uncertainty. Rounding out the top 3 concerns, over a quarter of executives say that they worry about shifting regulatory and political environments. Number 4, increasing the insurance costs or lack of insurance availability, as executives are quite very aware of how climate-related events have, in some cases, led to dramatic increases in insurance costs. Number 5, reputational damages on the environmental sustainability efforts are becoming core tenets of organizations' culture and brand identity. Now, how can the private sector engagement address climate change and promote green growth? Smart24 TV is increasingly engaging with the private sector of Uganda in mobilizing green investment, promote green private sector development, and harness skills and knowledge for addressing climate change in developing countries. Now, efforts including developing clean infrastructure, reducing energy, as well as resilience of cities and communities, supporting neutral capital and ecosystems. Yabafe igwe enkyukakyuka y'embeera y'obudde ekwatirako wagwe ng'omuntu. Omulimi ekisookera ddala akakuba we katonya kikusanyusa eri ebirime ebyo n'okusinziira ku seasons. Ate akasana we kaaka nakyo kikuyamba. Naye weegendereza ennyo wetufuna akasana okusinga kirina engeri gye kidamagingamu agriculture sector, nti kitukwatako nze naawe okulaba nga tulwanyisa kisookera ddala deforestation, omuntu okuba nti abantu bamenya emiti ne badagizaawo, okulaba nti tuconserving environment, okulaba nti tukwasaganya wamu okukuuma obutonde bw'eggwanga. Mu ngeri eno kuliko n'obutasettlinga mu ntobazi, okulaba nga tozimba mu ntobazi bijja tuyamba nnyo ffe ng'eggwanga okulaba nti tusimbira empenda eri emigigi emito, emigigi egijja, okulaba nga nagyo giganulwamu mu nsonga eno, okulaba nti environment is quite friendly for not only the businessmen, for the people in the agricultural sector n'abo abalala abali engaged mu ngeri emu oba endala. So you can definitely see that it is going to be beneficial to every one of you. And I definitely guess it is going to be one of the most, preferably a very good one for each one of you who is taking part in fighting to see that we are the champions of climate change. Smart24 TV is actually taking charge in that, with emerging good practice plans as ways to communicate with the business communities and the benefits of addressing environment issues, including the cost savings, reduce savings, understand and address the barriers to the private sector. Well, for each one of you who kick-started off the show with us, I would definitely say thank you very much for making sure that you kick-start off your day and end your day with Smart Means Business, and also making sure you keep up to speed in regards to the business stories. We are definitely here to get you covered, and we're definitely here to make sure we give you all it means to run your business and facilitate it as well. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko, yours truly. Jerome Paul Sonko on Twitter, Jerome Paul Sonko on Facebook, Jerome Paul Sonko on Instagram, on Twitter, at Jerome Paul Sonko, at your favorite guy, one. That is the Twitter handle. Follow me, as we can definitely get to engage more in regards to the business ideas and what we actually have in regards to that. On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, it's Smart24 TV. If you are to follow as well, you want to advertise with us, Plot 29A Commercial Road in Naguru is where we are currently, making sure that we telecast and broadcast to you business stories and business ideas from all angles of the globe. Meanwhile, the website is www.smart24tv.com, YouTube, Smart24 TV, Space Live. hit the subscription button and we can definitely get to serve you better. For now, it's a goodbye.